welcome back to the Villa. Welcome to Transfer Hub, your home of Aston Villa's transfer news, links, rumours, murmurings, incomings and outgoings. If you are new to the channel, get on the journey with us. Subscribe to the channel. We're close to 23k now, so you can play your part and get involved and enjoy the shows. Let's have a like target then of 800 and comment your thoughts in the comment section down below. Earlier, we brought you some news on Diego Carlos and we briefly touched on Duran. And West Ham, I just don't get this. I just don't get it. And we're going to delve into it. West Ham have bid 57 million for Jhon Duran. What part of he is not for sale do they not understand? And none of it makes any sense whatsoever on the player part either. Because why on earth would he go to West Ham and leave Villa? It makes no sense whatsoever. It would be the most backward sideways step going. It makes no sense for Jhon Duran. And obviously, it makes no sense for Villa selling at that price anyway. So here we've got the article from Ornstein dropping then. West Ham make offer to sign Jhon Duran from Aston Villa. West Ham bid worth 57 million, including add-ons, expected to be rejected. Villa have no intention of selling the 21-year-old striker, recently extended to 2030 amid strong interest elsewhere. So to me, this screams of classic David Sullivan of wanting to look busy, wanting to look like that they're putting in bids that they know full well are 100% going to be rejected. Earlier on in the window, we had same news from The Athletic, from Ornstein as well, saying that, but Villa regard Jhon Duran as being worth upwards of 100 million and do not plan to trade the 21-year-old during the winter window. So what do they not understand? I find it quite baffling, to be fair. And I find it quite insulting that that's the price that they're bidding, because from a Villa point of view, while we are, and note that he's got the Champions League badge on the thumbnail as well. So that's one reason why you won't be leaving Villa to go to West Ham, because he's playing in the Champions League. And let's be fair, West Ham could have signed Jhon Duran in the summer. They could have signed him for 40 million in the summer. And now we're talking about a player that's worth upwards of 100 million. So in the space of half a season, his value has gone up by 60 million. He's signed a brand new deal till 2030. So we spoke earlier about his wages going up, the longevity of the Villa contract, which means his value has gone up as well. So you're paying the price of what his contract's worth to us as well. So we're in the Champions League. He's playing in the Champions League. This narrative that Jhon Duran doesn't play, that narrative just doesn't work either, because Jhon Duran does play. Jhon Duran was starting consecutive games for Aston Villa before he got sent off. He got sent off against Newcastle. And then Ollie Watkins has then started the next 3 games and started the game against Arsenal. Jhon Duran is probably going to start the game in the Champions League against Monaco. So he does start games and he does play consistent minutes at around 30 minutes per game when he's on the bench for Villa anyway. So for me, it would be absolutely pointless for Villa to sell Jhon Duran for anything less than 100 million in this window, because his main asset would be to sell Jhon Duran in the summer and get the value that we want to get. We're not in a position where, oh, you've bid 57, 60, 65, 70. We've got to accept it because we need the money. Jhon Duran's value is going to be the same value whether we sell now or we sold in the summer anyway. So for us, we may as well keep both our really good strikers, get to the summer, and then assess where we need to work with the transfer market, really. So, yeah, I mean, upwards of 100 million. That's what he's worth. And with that amount of money and what he's worth, you are buying his outright quality of what he's got right now. But we are, with that valuation of the player, we are future proofing ourselves because we all know how good Jhon Duran is. So he is 21 years of age, currently scoring worldies in the Champions League, left, right, and centre, playing well for Villa in the Premier League. His value is worth around the 100 million. We're not selling for around 70, 75. It's never going to happen. And I just don't get what West Ham's tactic there is whatsoever. And, you know, even if I'm looking at a purely Villa point of view here, you know, it makes no sense for Villa to sell anyway. Like I said, it makes, if we're going to do anything, it would be the summer when his value he could be whatever, and we look to move strikers around or whatever we might do. Like, who knows what's going to happen? Because at the end of the day, we're not going to keep Watkins and Duran going into next season. Like, I don't feel like that would be feasible anyway to do because they both really want to play. But this whole Duran thing in January, and I even look at, like, take our Villa glasses off for a second and look at it from the player perspective of what could happen. Like, so Jhon Duran wants to play football, okay? So, okay, he goes to West Ham and plays football. They're not getting in Europe next season whatsoever. So he's going to play 38 game plus cup games. But this is a player that sees himself playing for Real Madrid, Barcelona, the pinnacle of elite Champions League football. You're saying he's going to be happy playing a whole season for West Ham next year with no European football whatsoever? Then what? He would want to leave again anyway, ASAP. So he really, even on the player side of things, you can say that, yeah, he wants to play games, but he wouldn't be happy just playing Premier League games. So none of it makes sense. But I do think honestly, it is classic Sullivan, you know, trying to appease the fans, trying to, okay, yeah, look, we are trying. We're trying to go for Duran. Yeah, but you're a million miles off it, mate. You're at 40 million you're over 40 million pounds off his valuation of what we've set. It says here that Ornstein reported earlier on in the window that we see upwards of 100. 40 million gets you in and around on top of that bid that they've just put in to 100. We're going upwards of 100. So, yeah, I find it quite comical. I do find it quite comical. I find it just quite, like, disruptive as well. Like, we don't need it. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's just so random. So, my honest thoughts as a Villa fan right now is that in the summer, he could go in the summer, but he's not going to West Ham. Like, he's not. I would be absolutely gobsmacked if he went to West Ham. Like, honestly, gobsmacked. So, yeah, I think most Villa fans can say that in the summer we're going to have some sort of striker movement. I think that is fair. Who that is, who stays, who goes, I don't think we really need to talk about that right now because we're in the midst of a season. We're doing really well. We're ending the season hopefully really well. We're in cup competitions, FA Cup, Champions League, Premier League. Now is not the time to be talking about what striker stays, what striker goes, or what's happening in the summer. We deal with that when we get to the summer. That's how I basically feel with it, really. So we need to be full focused on playing football and achieving our objectives for this season. So, yeah, it's comical. It's ridiculous. I just think it's wild of them to bid that type of money that's a million miles off it anyway. So those are my thoughts. You guys run away with it in the comment sections. Let me know your thoughts on how you're feeling about it all. But I think I've been pretty clear on where I'm at. So yeah, up the Villa.